That's right. So today's topic, according to the great body, African Voices International, is sanitation in Africa. And by God's grace, I was chosen to pilot the affair and the whole dialogue. And I pray that by the end of this meeting, we must come up with a better solution to this challenge of sanitation in Africa. So without wasting much of our time, let's open into the topic and start the long-awaited dialogue. So first of all, how do African giants find sanitation? You know, our topic is sanitation in Africa, most general hygiene. Okay. So how do freedom giants, just a layman English, everybody knows, freedom giants define sanitation? Can anyone help us?
Okay, so thank you very much, Freedom Giant Chinedu. So for me, on my point of view, I see sanitation to be the well-ordered arrangement and the well-ordered organization of our facilities, of our environment, and of our well-being for the development of the society. I say this because my belief that sanitation is not only about our buildings and how we manage our buildings to see to that things are clean, but also how we manage our nearest surroundings, you know, so even in our room, even how we organize our office, all of these things, one way or the other, showcase how sanitized we are. So an office can be very clean and very conducive, but if the office has not been properly arranged, then it's not really sanitized, you know, because things must be done well to prevent an influx of pollution or an influx of any kind of destruction, which will lead to an infection or a disease or dirtiness or rubbish or dust coming in or anything protruding in. So that's my idea and my philosophy on sanitation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Our brother has done very well in clearing the air. Sanitation, if we continue to define sanitation, I don't think we'll finish it today. Sanitation is something, it's common, but it's so wide, it's so big. Like internal and external, or anyhow they categorize it. But you know, sanitation doesn't end in our surrounding, cleaning our surrounding. Your surrounding might be clean, whereas the one that touches your body might not be so clean. But all we know is that this topic, sanitation, is important to our well-being. That's why it's important. So according to the definition, I don't need to ask you whether sanitation is important or not. But the question should be now, why is sanitation important? Let's go in that direction. Because we already assume that, okay, we already know that sanitation is important. So the question now is, why is this sanitation, general hygiene, why is it so important? Can anyone help us? Can anyone try and tell us why this? I know you know this is discussion and it's a dialogue, so you don't expect me to teach, or we are here to teach all of us, so we can help each other. So why is sanitation so important in Africa and to you personal? Anybody can say, just say your mind, be free. This discussion it will last long, so be free to air your view. You will teach me, I'll teach you. To me, I think sanitation is so important. One, first reason is sanitation. Okay, there's a saying that goes this way, that he who stays clean keep diseases away. It's an age-long saying. Sanitation keep many diseases away. Like if your environment, if your surrounding, if your hands in particular is not clean, you are very, very prone to so many diseases like diarrhea, cholera, all sort of tapeworm infections. So many infections that you can easily avoid by just washing your hands, your surrounding, your plate. So many diseases. So sanitation now, it keeps you healthy. because a healthy environment will keep you healthy. If your environment is not clean, you are prone to so many diseases. So that's one of the reasons why sanitation is very, very, very important. Then in Africa, in general, we watch CNN, BBC, all these foreign channels. We also watch our local channel, and we see how all these foreign countries portray Africa. You and I know how they show Africa. In their foreign movies, even in their news, daily news, how they portray Africa. Whenever you hear inside Africa, one thing comes to your mind. There is something they will showcase, and that's how they paint us. Although you and I know that we still have, even inside our villages, we still have clean villages that are so clean. Okay, let me give you an example. In my own tribe, olden days, I'm Igbo from Igbo tribe in Eastern Nigeria. There's this culture of cleaning your house from your gate. From your gate in particular, you have to clean it from that gate to the market square. You understand now? And some villages today, they still have that kind of culture. They took turn by turn. They take it turn by turn to clean the market square, the village square, or anything they call it. You understand? So if you come to those villages, it is village, it might be bushy, but it's clean. The environment is clean. And if these people coming from the village, they will even be healthier than the people in the city. You understand? So what took me to that is that I asked question, why is sanitation important? And I'm trying to touch every angle. Sanitation is very important because one, it helps our general well-being, our health. It pertains to it's very, very it's very, very healthy to our health. Now the problem pertaining to Africa in general is that Oyibo people, as our people call it, they have now painted this picture of Africa as being a squalor, as Africa as being a slum. They have painted Africa as being a dirty environment. Now, how do we tackle this problem? That will take us to matters arising, or the problem arising from sanitation. So, can anyone, either 2 or 3 people, help us with as problem they think that arise from sanitation? Apart from health issue, what other problems come from lack of sanitation? Because this sanitation is general, everyone must agree before this sanitation will work. If I keep my place clean, if you don't keep yours clean, 2 of us, we are still in danger. So if we refuse to keep our environment clean, what are the possible problems we face as a community, as an Africa? What are the problems arising? Then let's start from there and look into how to tackle them.
I think waste management is a whole industry in itself. And from the picture you've shown there, it looks like there's no waste management there. Rubbish piling up everywhere. So if the individual countries can take on waste management as a project, or even as a job creating industry for the people of the country, it will benefit us. We will manage the waste. There's a lot of recycling we could do. We could train, we could link it to some of our universities to improve our recycling technologies and knowledge. We could also cut down on a lot of the illnesses like malaria and typhoid and all this kind of stuff. So I don't see why the leaders don't see it as a priority, because if you tackle it, for example, if we didn't have the filth we had in, I'm from Ghana, and if we didn't have the filth we have in Accra, for example, or any of our big cities, a lot of people will save money, the money they use in buying tablets and all sorts of medication, they can use it to feed their children. So there's a lot of multiple effects. The amount of money the government will put towards this kind of industry will have a multiplier effect with a lot of suppliers and a lot of people getting work out of it. I don't understand why the job creation side of waste management is not explored by our countries, while there's so many young people unemployed and people complaining about unemployment is there, is facing us, and people rather take the monies out of the country and go and put it in developed countries for developed countries to use our money to develop their country, instead of using it to develop our country. So for you young guys, you need to be serious with your representations, with your political leaders, because all we're talking about are political problems, because they actually allocate the state's resources for, repairing, for all these kind of moves. We don't have enough rich people in our individual countries for them to, for the private sector to lead in employment. We don't have enough. Like developed countries where they have a lot of rich people, rich companies employing people, we have to start with our political leadership, with our politicians. We have to use our own national resources to set it going. And once we set these things going, then millionaires will come out of us, and then we'll begin to provide, employment ourselves. But if we're expecting individuals to provide employment when people are struggling to feed themselves, then we are just waiting to be dominated all the time.
Yeah.
I yield my mic.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Actually, I asked a question on problem arising before going to way forward, but Daddy helped us with, in Igbo language, we say, Oji feature two bono. Now, that's mean he used one stone to kill two birds. He stated the problems and the way forward. So now, let's generalize it. If there's anyone that will come up with a problem, try and give us just the possible solution. Yeah, I would like if any other person still have opinion to chip in. I believe the question is clear. What are the major problems arising from this sanitation? If percentage is not properly done, what are the problems? And how can we tackle this problem? That's the question. Thank you, Daddy. Okay, in absence of anybody, I will chip in my own opinion. According to the last person that talked, our daddy, he talked on recycling. That's the prior duty of the government. Now, we have many non-biodegradable resources littering our environment and making our soil. They made everywhere inhabitable. Now, if you leave nylon in the soil, nylon, polythene material, not just nylon, any plastic, any polythene material, one, it will not decay. Two, it will continue to cause death of microorganisms due to the chemical used in producing that plastic. Now, look at it this way. That plastic inside our soil is creating a problem. Is polluting our soil, one, is creating serious problems. But you know that is another opportunity. If government can install all these recycling companies and pumping money into their companies, it will create jobs. Now, those plastic littering around can be recycled and produce a mega plastic. The other thing is oil producing areas, like riverine areas in Nigeria. Once they mine their oil, they sell, they pollute the earth with this oil. If there's oil spillage, oil seepage, they will just condemn the soil that it will no longer be it will no longer bear fruit, it will no longer bear any plant. That soil is condemned forever until they give soil treatment to that soil. And that is the pure duty of government. It's not duty of you and I can do. That is another thing. Then the third one is sewage. Another challenge we are facing about this sanitation, sewage disposal. Do you know that this septic tank people do in their house, septic tank for sewage, for your water, when you flush your toilet, the sewage will go directly to the septic tank. And then when it's filled up, they will call soak away tanker. They will now carry the sewage. Some of them will not dispose it properly. They will dispose it along the road or in the bush or anywhere. Do you know that that sewage there can be transformed and used as a source of energy? It will generate energy. And this is nothing that you and I, it's not something that you and I will do. It's duty of government. So those things create problems, and those problems create opportunity for employment and other development. These are the areas government will come in. So when you talk about sanitation, you see that sanitation is not just all about health, although health is number one. But you see that sanitation also creates employment. Now, every now and then, you'll be shouting unemployment in Africa, but these are the major areas, key areas where youth can key in and be employed forever. So in absence of that, the next thing we look into is what are the way forward? Apart from this government assignment, government will come in, or government will do that. How can you and I put in extra effort before government coming? Because in Nigeria, we will say that you keep fighting till police come in. Do you understand? So we have duty, or don't we? We have duty. So what can we do on our part, apart from government? What else can we do? The youth, the elderly, the aged, what else can we do to make sure that we maintain proper sanitation in Africa and avoid this bad image of presenting Africa as a squalor, presenting Africa as a slum, or as a pit of dirtiness? What can we do to divert this bad image of Africa? Anyone? Because
Yeah, I think one of the simple actions everybody can take is to dispose of their rubbish properly, not to just throw plastic everywhere. When you drink pure water, for example, you just throw it, or you buy some maybe fried plantain in paper or something, you just throw it anywhere. No, we can all bring our rubbish home, put it in a bin and dispose of it properly. Or we can use where the provided bins, we can put all our rubbish in one thing. So it doesn't, the rubbish don't fly around. Because now a lot of our cities are flooding, and they are flooding because all our sewage is being blocked by silt and the rubbish not being disposed of properly. People just throwing things in gutters and things. And people are losing their lives when it rains. One big rain comes, somebody's container, they are sleeping and get carried away. By the time they wake up, they are somewhere else. They've traveled involuntarily. So yes, disposal of rubbish properly is important. And if that one, everybody, whether you are old, young, school kid, everybody can contribute to that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wanted to touch that area. Do you know that rubbish disposal, especially in the drainage channel, when you dispose your rubbish, especially plastic material, into a drainage channel, it may block the drainage that when the rain falls, it will cause flooding, because there will be no ease of access of these flooding. They cannot move through the channel. They will now fill the road. And when they fill the road, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You start hearing bad news. We hear, I'm in Nigeria, we hear Lagos, whenever it comes to rain season, we hear Lagos story. Lagos, we hear this and that, flooding everywhere. And Lagos already have a lot of canals. So when it's flooding, you wouldn't know where there is gutter, where there is canal. So once you put in your leg, you either fall into a pit or a canal. Rain will carry you. And those are not, those are problems created gradually. So we're about to come to an end. In conclusion, like I said in the beginning, let me repeat it. There is a culture, a long-age culture of Igbo land. It is inbuilt in our culture that every day, each family have to sweep their house from their gate to the market square. If the first compound does that, second compound do, third compound do, and everybody do it, you will see that the entire community is clean by the end of the day. And nobody is there to force you or do anything. You understand now? So this is our culture. So don't let anybody come and tell you that Africa is a squalor, Africa is a slum. We have the habit of cleanliness. And secondly, they're saying that cleanliness is next to godliness. So we believe in the higher spirits. If there are spirits, then they were not dirty. They live in clean environments. Then the third thing is that those countries, we have whenever what is it called, UN, what other bodies, AU, all these world bodies, whenever they want to tell us about cleaner city, they will use Kigali of Rwanda, for example. They will use Cape Town of South Africa, for example. They will use many, even Kumasi of Ghana, different cities. Those cities, look at them, you will see something unique about their sanitation practice when compared to other cities. One, you will see that government already pumping money into sanitation offices. They take care of those sanitation. Where I live in Enugu, in Nigeria, government do similar thing, but when corruption comes in, you see that funds will be diverted. So we have to hold our government accountable. It is our duty to elect. It is our duty to ask questions, and it's our duty to hold them accountable for any duty they fail to fulfill. So those are things we voted them in. So in as much as we do our part, make sure that your neighbor do his part, then make sure that the government do their part, and at the end, all of us will be happy. Everybody will be healthier because they say he who stays clean keeps diseases away. So in our ability to fight corona, in our ability to fight COVID, in our ability to fight malaria, to fight all diseases, without cleanliness, you cannot fight this. You cannot fight any disease. Talk more of bacteria. Bacteria, you start from sanitation. You clean your body, you clean your clothes, you clean your house, you clean your surroundings. Then it's only then you can say that yes, you are ready. You are fighting disease. So, my fellow freedom giants, by the end of this meeting, I'm encouraging everyone to put into practice whatever thing that you've learned to do. By the end of the day, you will be happy. You'll be happy and healthy people. So thank you very much. African Voices International, Freedom in Africa. Thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.